Yo, what's going on? This is David. Welcome to Stock Talk Late Night. This is episode 2. And we're just gonna hang on, hold out for a second, see if we can get some people in. I know it's late night, but that's the purpose of the show. Stock Talk Late Night. And this is episode 2. So we're just gonna hang for a few seconds before we get started. As always, remember, I'm not a financial advisor, man. Always do your own research. I am not a financial advisor, but the purpose of these late night episodes is just stock talk, man. No formal rules or anything like that. It's just conversation about the stock market. Um, no topic is off limits. So it's only the second episode, the second installment of Stock Talk Late Night. So something we're going to build up, over time. Something a little different from what you normally see. We'll touch on a couple of topics, tonight. Do a little market recap. See how the S&P, the Nasdaq, the Dow is doing, and we'll jump into a few things. Probably just give it about 30 more seconds, and we'll get started. All right, let's jump right into it. We're gonna do a little market recap, man. We're gonna go to Google Finance here and let's just check in on the market for the day and see how we're looking here. So just bear with me 1 second here. Let's check in on the Dow. Man, the Dow was actually up today. So you see the Dow up 123 points, and we're sitting at 44,593.65. And over the last week, you see the Dow is up slightly, 0.32%. Over the last month, Dow is up 5%. Let's go over the year to date. Dow is actually up 4%, 2,000 points. In the last 6 months, the Dow is up 13%. Not bad. Over the last year, you see the Dow's up 14%. And if we zoom out 5 years, the Dow is up 51% over the last 5 years. Not bad at all. Let's take a look at the S&P. S&P was pretty flat today, up 2 points, but we'll call that flat. Over the last week, up 0.78%. Last month, over the last month is up almost 4%. Year to date, the S&P is up 3.18%. Not bad. Not bad at all. And over the last year, the S&P is up 20%. When in doubt, man, invest in the S&P. I think the S&P is, it's important, man. Every portfolio should have the S&P in it. And for my S&P investors, what's your favorite S&P position? VOO, SPY. Let me know. If I wanted to invest in the S&P, which one should I jump into? We see over the last year the S&P is up 20%. So instead of putting that money into a savings account at your bank earning little to nothing. I want to put my funds in the S&P. Am I going VOO? Am I going Am I going SPY? What's some other ones? SPYG, SPLG. What's some other good S&P 500 positions that I could invest in? Or if you was in talking to a new investor, what would you recommend them invest their money into if they were looking at the S&P? Lisa said SPLG. Definitely not SPY. Why you don't like the SPY? It's probably going to be. Is that expense ratio too high for you? FXAIX, of course. FXAIX is one of my favorites as well. Definitely one of my favorites. And for those that may be tuning in a little too late, a little later on, let me know in the comments what's your favorite S&P position. Yep. Expense ratio too high. I know you like that S&P. I know you're a stickler for the expense ratio. So I do have what I have. I have FXAIX. My son has VOO. I think I have SPLG, and these are all in different portfolios. And I do have a little SPY. Sorry, Lisa, I do have a little SPY. I know that's more popular in the trading world, but I have a little SPY just to, and I'm actually up pretty good, pretty good as far as percentage wise, but it does tend to have a high expense ratio. So I do understand where you're coming from. Let's jump over to the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ was down today, 0.36%, down 70 points on the day. Over the last week, the NASDAQ is up 0.39%. Over the last month, up 2%, 2.91%, so almost 3%. And year to date, the NASDAQ is up 1.72%. Over the last year, the NASDAQ is up 23%. And if you zoom out a little bit over the last 5 years, the NASDAQ is up 101%. So give me your favorite NASDAQ or tech ETFs that you would want to invest in. Are we looking at XLK? What's another one? What's another good one? QQQ, QQQM, if I'm not mistaken. Give me some good NASDAQ positions to invest in. I have QQQM. I also have QQQ. I know that's a trading one, but I do have it long. I do have a few shares, I should say. And I like to try some things out. I'm actually up pretty well on my QQQ position, up pretty well on my QQQM position, which we'll look at later on when I bring up my Robinhood account. So, but I do like tech positions and things like that. So, but yeah, the NASDAQ doing pretty well over a 5-year span. But year to date, like we say, it's only up 1%. But hey, it's February, so not bad at all. So let's take a look at what's going on today. What were some of the bigger stock moves today? Just off the top of my head, I remember Apple was up pretty good today. How many Apple investors are out there? And do you think everybody should own Apple? I think everybody should own Apple, to be honest with you. Apple, as you see, is up 2% on the day, up almost 5 points. It was up, I know, 6, almost 7 points earlier in the day, but finished up 2%, 2.18%. But Apple is up over the last week, up 1%. But over the last month, down slightly. Year to date, Apple is taking a hit, actually down 7%. Down 17 points on the year. So year to date, Apple's actually been taking a big hit. So is this a pullback opportunity, or do you see a bigger concern for Apple? Let me know what you think. Me personally, I'm always be a believer in Apple until they show me otherwise. And And yeah, I think it's a good time to invest in Apple. Anytime you have those pullbacks, I think it's a good time to invest in Apple. I don't see anything long term that says, you shouldn't invest in Apple. That's over a 5 year stretch. Apple's up 186%. That's 151 points. So unless I see otherwise, I'm always be Apple investor. If you follow my channel a little bit, I was working hard to get to 100 shares of Apple, which I do currently have. And today, because the Apple was up 2%, almost 5 points, I did take advantage of that and sold some covered calls on Apple today. So made a little extra income. Sold one cover call today, but made a little extra income, and that's just the benefit of having 100 shares of a position that offers good premium. I'm not great on option as far as calls and puts or anything like that, but I do pretty well as far as selling covered calls. It's something I've been learning over the last year or two, and it's turned out well for me. So thoughts on Meta? Man, Meta's been booming, man. Meta's been booming. Let's take a look at Meta. What is Meta sitting at now? Over 700. Man, let me tell you, I hate to tell this, but I owned at one point, I think 20 shares of Meta. I bought back in 2016 as part of like my introduction into really into the market with decent money. I bought Apple, Meta, with Facebook at the time, um, Amazon and Google. But when the techs pulled back, what year? A few years ago, I sold my Meta stock. It was in profit, but I sold it and I purchased VOO just to kind of balance out because I was too heavy in the tech. But I wish I would have stayed in my Meta. But my son still owns. He has a few shares of Meta, so he's doing really well. And I did jump back in it, so I have a small position in Meta, but not what I once had. And if you just look at Meta over the last week, up 2%. Over the last month, up 18%. Crazy. 111 points over the last month. And Meta's been booming. And, I remember a couple of years ago when, the CEO was taking some flack with the metaverse and things like that. And people, was starting to have doubts about Meta, but it's definitely bounced back. Over the 6 months, Meta's up 39%. That's crazy. Year to date, up 22%. Over the last year, Meta's up 53%, up over 250 points. Man, I'm just, I hate I sold my shares, man. I'm not going to lie. And I've been trying to slowly build up my new Meta position, but man, it's just outrunning me. I ain't going to lie. It's just outrunning me. Over the last 5 years, you see Meta's up 236%. So to answer your question, nothing but good thoughts on Meta right now. And it's booming. I'm not, it's maybe they'll do a stock split. I'm not sure. But right now, it's taking off. It's taking off. Meta, Microsoft Leap. Oh wow. How far out did you do that leap? Lisa, is it out? Were you in the money on it or you out the money on that leap? And Jason, let's see. Netflix, man. I don't have any Netflix either right now. I had some. I had some a couple of years ago, but I don't own any right now. What's up, Stacker and Cali? Oh, still early out there. I'm on the East Coast, so it's getting kind of late. Let's take a look at old Netflix. Netflix was booming after the earnings recently. Let's take a look how Netflix is looking. Man, over 1,000. Over 1,000. Down today. Down 19 today. Up over last week, up 2%. Man. I do not own any Netflix. You see over the last month, up almost 20%. Like I said, I think their earnings blew it out the water. You see 6 months, Netflix is up 59%. And year to date, Netflix is up 13% over the last year, up 80%, 450 points. Man. Mm, 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 mm. Mm. See, over the last 5 years, up 165%. So Meta, Netflix. Jason, do you have both of those positions? Do you have Netflix and Meta right now? Yeah, at least I wish I had Netflix too. I'm not gonna lie, I wish I had it, but I don't currently own. I don't currently own any Netflix either. Mm. And I don't see any. I mean, what's a good competitor to Netflix? I don't see any competition. Amazon maybe. 40 shares of Meta, man. That's big time right there. That's big time. Like I said, I wish I had any. I had 20 at one point. I don't have any. My son has about 7 shares of Meta, and I think my new position. I don't even know if I have one actually. I don't even know if I have one share. I just been kind of slowly dollar cost averaging, but man, that price has been running on me with Meta. It's taking off. I'm not gonna lie, it's taking off. But we know about the big boys. Meta, Netflix, Amazon, Google, Apple, Microsoft, and Lisa. Yeah, I still want to know what how how's that leap that you got in Microsoft? That's because one of my goals is this year is to add a couple of leaps to my portfolio because I have a long term investing mindset. So buying calls and puts is it's kind of not my style. So I do sell cover calls, but I am looking for a couple of leaps to give me some time on a couple of positions that I think is going to run over time. So, and let me see here. So I want to change over to energy, man. We don't talk a lot about energy stocks too much. One of my energy stocks that I'll show in my Robinhood portfolio a little later is ET. I have some ET, um, and they did have earnings today, which was a little disappointing. Than was expected. So energy transfer. And let me know in the comments what energy stocks or ETFs do you guys invest in? Are you Chevron or Exxon, XLE? Let me know what energy positions that you all have currently or that you're looking to invest in. Well, I'm just taking a quick look at ET. ET down today 1%, down in the after hours. They did have earnings today. As you see, fourth quarter results and announced a 2025 outlook. And you see energy transfer slips on soft Q4 results and guidance. So yeah, took a little dive today. Over the last week, ET is down 4%. Over the last month, up 1%. But over the last 6 months, man, my position has been doing really well, up 27%. Well, the ET is up 27% over the last 6 months. Year to date, only up 1%. But over the last year, up 40%. And over the last 5 years, when you zoom out, ET is up 55%. So, what are some energy positions that you are investing in that we may need to look into? Lisa says none. No energy positions, Lisa? None? Wow, okay. Gotcha. No XLE, no Chevron, no Any particular reason why? Maybe the current administration. Why you not? Why don't you have any energy positions currently? I had XLE for a while. I don't currently own any now. Like I said, ET is probably my only. No, actually, it's not. Actually, it's not. Let me take a look at a sleeper ETF that I've been investing in called AMZA. AMZA. And down on the day, over the last week, down 1%. But over the last month, up 5%. Over the last 6 months, up 23%. Yeah, this is one of my sleeper ETFs. I don't talk about it too much unless you see my dividend video, because this is a monthly paying ETF. You see year to date up 10%. Over the last year, up 28%. And like I said, it's done quite well in my portfolio. And I also get monthly dividend income from this position as well. Over the last 5 years, up 18%. So, to get monthly income on a position that's also growing, it's a win-win. Definitely a win-win for me. So AMZA has been like one of my sleeper ETFs that's been doing quite well and pays a nice dividend as well. And it, like I said, it's a monthly paying ETF. Sprott Holdings, okay, that's their name. I swing trade a few, made a video about it, did okay, that's what's up. Lisa says just got caught up in tech and consumer, understandable. Man, once you go off down that tech road, man, it's 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 a tough road to come back from, man. Like that's how I got started, and it's you at one point you want to own a little bit of everything. So yeah, that tech is a good one. Okay. So speaking of that, I want to pose a question, right? And this question, this little game here, one has to go. So I'm gonna give you 4 positions. You tell me which one has to go from the portfolio. If you had to choose, which one you would kick out the portfolio. So out of Apple, Amazon, Google, Palantir, I said 4, I'm gonna do 5. Microsoft. Which one has to go? Apple, Amazon, Google, Palantir, Microsoft. Which one would you kick out the portfolio if you had to? Stacker, you stole one of my questions. I was going to come with that. How do you think the market is going to do this year? And we'll talk about that because I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure right now. But yeah, one position has to go. Apple, Amazon, Google, Palantir, Microsoft. I can keep 4. I had to get rid of 1. And Palantir has been rolling. Would you put that ahead of Apple or Microsoft, Google or Amazon long term? Yeah, man. Palantir has exploded. So you say you bet, so Tech just bet big on Microsoft, so no on them. Okay. Yeah, man. That FOMO, that fear of missing out. I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm a big believer on Palantir, even though it definitely has exploded. I have a small position in Palantir. Yeah, Amazon is my number 1, so that's one that I'd never get rid of. I don't even care what the the question is. I bought Amazon in 2016. I'm still holding most of those shares, and yeah. Yeah. It said Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Apple, Palantir. Microsoft got to go, Lisa? Wow. Okay. I know. That's why I said they all good ones. That's why I was saying if you had to pick one that had to go, if you just had to have to let one go, which one would it be? And what y'all think about the pullback on Google? Is it a good time to buy Google, or do you have some concerns? So let's see what Google's trading at right now. Is it time to load up on it? It's GOOG. So Google's at 187. This is the GOOG. You know, it has two symbols, but GOOG is at 187.07 right now. Over the last week, down 3%. And we know, how it did after earnings over the last month, down 2%. Over the last 6 months, still up 14%. Year to date, down 1%. Over the last year, up 25%. Last 5 years, 146%. So is there any concerns with Google, and are you an investor in Google right now? Apple's too strong of a brand. I agree. I'm never selling my Apple unless something comes up. At least I don't have any Palantir. I have just a little bit because I just, I have a Moomoo account, and I got tired of my Moomoo account just sitting there, so I started putting a little bit of money in the Palantir. But I don't even think I have one share, just some fractional shares. That's it. What do you guys think about Google? Are you an investor? Yeah, you don't want easy questions. And you're the expert. So that's why I asked, because I know you're the expert. You'll give me the best answer. Google's one of my original stocks that I bought in 2016, but it's showing some it's been kind of weak lately. I don't know. I think this may be a good buying opportunity, honestly, because I still have faith in Google, and I'm not selling any of my shares. So even though it's taking a downturn right now, I think unless something crazy in the market happens, I think it's going to be back over 200 for sure. Yep. AI. Yep. But Stack, I want to get into your S&P question, because how do I think it's going to do this year? Am I expecting another 20%? What we did the last 2 years over 20%? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how the S&P is going to do this year, man, because I just don't. I just don't know. You got to kind of keep an eye on the this administration. Have I ever looked at court? Let's look at court. I have never looked at court. Appreciate it. That's what this show is about. Corcept Therapeutics Incorporated. Okay. I'm going to look at these numbers. Well, just from the eye test. What about the operating expense? Had to check out that balance sheet a little later, but let's see. Corp is up on the day. Over the last 5 days, a little down. 33% over the last month. What's going on with Corp, Lisa? That's what I'm talking about. You got all the sleepers over there. Over the last 6 months, almost 100%. Year to date, 35%. Over the last year, up 184%. Okay, how are we looking on Corp? What do you think it's heading to? Are we heading to 100? You got 2 shares of Corp at 48. Okay, let me write this down here. See, Lisa's coming in with some bangers here. I may have to start a position. Okay. That's what I'm talking about there. Core. There we go. I like that. You know, one position that I wish I had more shares of, that's Eli Lilly. Uh, do you guys own any Eli Lilly? Let's see what it's done over the last year. Eli Lilly is up 17% over the last year. Last 6 months is actually down. I've done well on my Eli Lilly position. Man, over the last 5 years, up 512%. Wow. Okay. That's crazy. You like Neo, Lisa? I've never been a Neo fan. I've never invested in it. Hmm. Maybe it's a good time. I had to take a little bit deeper dive into it because it's taking a hit so far this year, down 18%. But over the last year, down 11%. I don't know. Maybe might be time for it to shine. You want to get in at a good price and let the market do what it do. Oh, okay. I got you. I'm tripping. I was like, I ain't investing in Neo. That's a okay. Maine. Yes, you know I love Maine. You know I love Maine. Matter of fact, let's jump into my Robinhood portfolio. I have some Maine in my Robinhood portfolio. And let me see here. If I can pull that up real quickly here. I was trying to get my Robinhood portfolio to 8K, but the stock market is saying, wait a minute, you're moving a little too fast, sir. So you see my Robinhood portfolio. This is the only live account that I show. Most of my investments are at Fidelity, but you know, this is the one live account I do show, and that's my Robinhood account. And you see, we are at $7,113.16. We were down for the day, and I was hoping to get to 8K soon, but you know, crypto and the stock market is just having other plans for me right now. So over the last week, we are down 2%. Over the last month, we're down 1%. Over the last 3 months, though, we're up 2%, 2.89%. Year to date, down 3%. And over the last year, down 7%. And just to speak on that last year, I was trading options in this account, but I'm no longer trading options. I kind of learned my lesson, so I'm sticking to my long-term portfolio and the crypto. So what I have here, I have some Bitcoin, I have some Ethereum, I have some Doge, and then stock-wise, I talked about ET. I have 80.75 shares of ET here. I have some VTI, 4.62 shares. QQQM, I have 4.24 shares. And Lisa, you mentioned Maine. This is where I have my Maine at. And I have 18.21 shares of Maine that I need to build up. So that's where my main position is in Robinhood. XRP, I do have XRP over in my Coinbase account. And what do you guys think XRP is going to do? What do you think XRP is going to do, Lisa? Do you see it going up, or are we kind of falling for the okie doke here? I actually invest in XRP every week. I put a few dollars in there every week, or buy a couple of shares every week while the price is low. So I'm a believer in XRP. I guess we're going to have to be patient, like we've been being patient. So I was hoping it'd take off, but I still think it will. I think it just needs a little time. Work out some of the legalities and all that extra stuff. But I think XRP is going to do what it do. So that's why I'm buying. I buy XRP every week, no matter the price. I buy Bitcoin in this Robinhood account every day. Um, and most of the others, every other week or something like that. But let's go back to the Robinhood here. Take a look at these positions. My ET position. Let's see what we have here. My ET position, I am up 41% on my ET position. You see my average cost is $13.79. ET is trading at $19.46. We have a dividend this month pending of $26.24. So we'll be getting that dividend from ET this month. That's going to get reinvested. So that should give me another share plus. You see my bi-weekly buy of $5 is going to ET tomorrow. So we're just going to keep on rolling. But yeah, ET is done well for me, up 41%. We have 80.74 shares. We need to get to 100 shares. So that's we'll try to get to 100 shares by the end of the year. That'll be a good goal to have. But ET's doing well for me. Like I said, that's one of my energy positions. Neo, you don't believe in XRP? All right, let's take a look at my VTI, something that I'm continuously trying to build up, but let's see what VTI is doing for me. VTI, you see I have 4.61 shares. Total return, we're up 19%. We do a weekly buy of VTI. We do $10 every week in the VTI. So next goal is to get to 5 shares of VTI, which we'll hit it. We'll hit it pretty soon. I throw a little extra in VTI when I can. So, but up 19% on the VTI position here. Let's go over to QQQM. QQQM, we have 4.24 shares. We are up 23% on the QQQM position. Average cost $176.50. You see QQQM is trading at what, 217 and some change right now. We do a weekly buy, just a little, $5 in it every week. But we're up 23%, so pretty good. We're gonna keep investing into QQQM and keep building that position. So, and it's crazy because I wasn't giving my Robinhood portfolio any love probably a couple of years ago, and I said, you know what, let me start taking it a little bit more serious. I wanted to trade in here as well, but the trading wasn't working out like I thought, or this portfolio actually be a little higher than what it is. But so we're just getting back to the basics, to the foundation of what we do, which is long-term investing. And we're just going to build it up over time, and we've been doing quite well. Other than those bumps in the road I hit with the options trade, and that was my fault because of, stop losses not being done properly or trying to revenge trade, and that stuff catches up with you. So, I just had to pump the brakes on the trading aspect of it and get back focused on the long-term portfolio. Now let's jump into Maine. I know Lisa loves Maine. I love Maine. Maine is trading at $61.39. My average cost is $42.69. We are up 43.81% on this Maine position. Up 1% for the day. We have a dividend coming in, $4.55. So that's pending. Of course, it'll get reinvested. And I'm going right now. We're doing $5 every other week, but we're going to start picking this up and increasing our of what we buying of Maine. So it's it's crazy what Maine is doing and the pay every month. It's one of the great positions out there right now. One of my favorite positions. I'm not even gonna lie. So, uh, yeah. This I heard that stop loss and Robin. Yeah, it is. And it wasn't all Robin Hood. Hell, it was me most of the time. So, just being hard headed. But yeah, yep, yep. And you say you'll get to 27 shares of VTI this week. Wow, that's great. That's great. That is great. So yeah, man, those are the stock positions that I have in this portfolio. And we're gonna keep building up on that main. Let's go up to the crypto. So in this portfolio, I just have Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Doge. So let's see. Bitcoin. I mean, what is Bitcoin going to do? When are we taking off to 100K, back to 100K, then to 110K? That's what I'm waiting on. But anyway, I have some Bitcoin. My average cost is 47,263. So we are up 101% on my Bitcoin position. I just wish I had more, but it is what it is. We'll keep rocking. And you see, I just do a daily buy. I'm just doing $3 a day in the Bitcoin right now, no matter the price. Just going to keep investing daily, and we'll go from there. But we're up 101% on the Bitcoin position. It's doing quite well for me, but I'm waiting on it to do more. So they say Bitcoin's going to 500,000 or to a million or whatever the case may be. Well, I'll be right along for the ride for sure. So yeah, 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 yeah. You don't like Robinhood customer service and none of this. I agree. I never had to use their customer service. Like I said, I have probably yeah, probably 80% of my portfolio is at Fidelity. I'm sorry, probably 80 to 85% of my portfolio is at Fidelity. I do have a Charles Schwab account, which I'm not a big fan of them. To be honest with you, I have an E Trade account. I'm not a big fan of them as well. Fun fact: one of my first jobs when I moved to Georgia. I actually worked for E Trade for like 6 months, so that's what turned me on to stocks. Um, was working at E Trade. I was a customer service rep at E Trade. One of my first jobs out of college. I did not know anything about the stock market except for a little money in banking class I took in college. But I was working at E Trade, and I remember taking phone calls, and all I knew how to do was change the password or change the address or something like that. And they started talking in stock talk, portfolio, because obviously the call got to me by mistake because I wasn't even supposed to be taking those type of calls. I didn't have my Series 7 or 63 or nothing like that. But it really intrigued me, and that's kind of when I started taking a liking to the stock market and just going from there. And here we are. Now I feel like I'm addicted to it. So, but yeah, yep, yep, yep. So Bitcoin, looked at the Bitcoin position. Let's go back to Ethereum here. Let's see how our Ethereum position is doing. We are up 19% on Ethereum. And I'm not a heavy investor in Ethereum. My average cost is 2307.13. Ethereum's trading at 25.93, so we're not up that much. We do a weekly buy. Is that weekly? Yep, we do a weekly buy into Ethereum. So I'm a believer, though. I think it's going to take a little time, but I'm a believer in Ethereum. I'm not an expert on the crypto, but I try to have my hands into the Bitcoins, Ethereums, the XRPs. And you see, I have a little Doge here that I've been building back up. And my Doge position, this position is actually up 61%. It was up more, but Doge has come down a little bit. My average price in the Doge is around the 15-cent mark. So we just have a small position, and we do just $5 a week in the Doge. So that's pretty much it for the Robinhood portfolio. But I feel pretty confident in this portfolio, and it started out a few months ago. I think when I first started doing videos on it, I probably had this was probably like a $4,000 account, $3 or $4,000 account, and we built it up. We watched it go back down because of some trading, some bad trades, and then we've slowly been building it back up. So hopefully the market may turn around and we can get it to 7,500. I have the positions to do it, so we're keeping the portfolio kind of short and sweet, right? Four stock positions or ETFs and 3 crypto. I don't think I'm gonna add anything else to this portfolio. We're just gonna let the market, do what it do. So, but I'm pretty confident in this portfolio. Just waiting on the market to do what it has to do. So. What would it take for you to sell everything and only invest into the S&P? Um, I wouldn't do it, to be honest with you. Even though I'm a believer in the S&P and I have S&P positions, I don't think I could sell everything and invest in the S&P. No, I couldn't do it. I ain't even gonna lie. I would probably go all tech before I just do all S&P. Yeah, but I started off all tech, and I had to work my way into the S&P once I, learned any more. Do you have any other goals like paying off your mortgage early? Yes, I do. I do. So, fun fact about that, I bought my house in 2011. So, I bought my house in 2011 when the market was still down. I was able to refinance in 2020 when the interest rates were down. So, I was able to get a great interest rate. And now I'm looking to pay off my mortgage. I want to pay off my mortgage. When I refinanced, I was able to get a 15-year mortgage, and that was back in 2020. So it's 2025 now. So I want to pay off my house in like 5 years, 5 to 7 years. It's supposed to be 2035 where I'm supposed to be done, but I want to pay it off in 5 to 7 years. Yeah. Oh, just bought a home. Wow. Well, congratulations. Um, yeah, but yeah, I want to pay it off in 5 to 7 years, man. And the prices in 2011 were so low, it's ridiculous. Um, so of course they always call and want me to sell my house, but I can't do it. I can't do it. Even the money is enticing, but I bought the house at such a great price and then able to refinance. Um, you know, I can't move. But what another goal though, speaking to play off of that, is I want to by the end of this year, I want to start using my dividend income to just pay my mortgage every month. I want that to go to my mortgage. Uh, I make enough dividend income every month to pay my mortgage, but this is the thing, right? I have a few accounts. Some of those accounts are traditional brokerages. Some of them are IRAs. So you can't just pull that money out, right? So I want to have enough dividend income in my brokerage account to pay off, to make my monthly mortgage payments every month comfortably. And then I know I'm gonna probably buy another car because my car is paid off, but it is an older car. I think I bought it in 2014, but I did pay it off. Um, but I know I'm gonna get another car in the next year or so. So one of the goals I'm trying to do is build up that dividend income in my regular brokerage accounts, so it'll still cover. It can cover my mortgage and any other bill or debt that I would pay normally. So that's kind of why I go hard on the dividend income, because I just wanted to cover my monthly expenses and then use my income from my job to just build up my investing. So that's the goal. Things happen, life happens. Emergencies happen, so that all that I got a kid that's going to college soon. He's a senior in high school, so I got to think about all that stuff. So But yeah, the dividend income is real important. That's why I stress that a lot, because I do want it to cover my monthly expenses. The problem is just half of it's going into my traditional brokerage account. The other half right now is probably going into the IRAs, the rollovers, or the Roth IRAs. So I can't pull those out, but I'm using those to of course reinvest and increase that dividend income as well. So yeah, so that's the goal, man. Just keep growing that dividend income. I want to get solid, a good. This year, I want to average over I want to get to $1,000 a month in dividend income, and then in the next year or so, I really wanted to take off big time. In 2024, we made, and this included my son's account, we made over $8,000 in dividend income. So I want to try to get to 12,000 this year total, and then keep building from there. So dividend income is very, 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 very important for me. But paying off that house, man, is big. It's big, and I want to do that in the next, like I said, 5 to 7 years. I'm in the South, and like I said, when those mortgages when the market was down, in that '08 to 2015, 2016 time, I wish I had bought more property, but the house I did buy was just at a great price during those times, and it's just, you know, some days I think about just cashing out and paying off my mortgage, but I have to, stop myself and just, say, take your time, don't rush it. I don't want to put that dent into my portfolios that I've been building up these last few years. So, but yeah, man, that's definitely a goal of mine. hmm But man, where we at? We are at the 52-minute mark. Do you all have any stocks or ETFs that we should be on the lookout for? Maybe on our watch list. Lisa threw out CORT, or any other positions, any other stocks that we should be on the lookout for. And Neil, yes, the S&P, just investing in S&P would be kind of boring, but it would probably pay off in the long run for sure. For sure. And also the dividends, man. The dividends, it's kind of tricky, man. It's tricky. Uh, the way my dividend, the way I do have my dividend income, like how I build a portfolio, it's now it's S&P, growth/tech, and then income in their order: S&P, tech, income. So I may have a risky dividend position inside of a solid portfolio, right? I'm not going to go out and buy a bunch of yield maxes or high risk dividends and throw 5 or 6 of them in a portfolio, because I know how that's going to go. It's not going to turn out well, right? So, um, so I just build it out that way. And I have some dividends ETFs that are doing really well for me. PFFA. Um, I talked about AMZA. Um, oh man, what's this one that I just started investing in? Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can pull it up here, because it's rolling off the tip of my tongue. But it's let me see here. I'm just pulling up my Fidelity real quick. Just you know, um, let me see. What was I saying here? Oh, FEPI, FEPY. I'm sorry, FEPI is doing really well for me. Now that's a monthly dividend payer. Divo, I love Divo, DIVO. I talked about PFFA. They are doing really well for me. One of my favorite dividend paying ETFs is JEPQ, JEPQ. doing extremely well for me, not just on dividend income, but price appreciation as well. So those are some of my favorite dividend income positions. And then I do take chances, or I do have a couple of yield max mixed in with a couple of these portfolios. A couple of the round hill ETFs that pay weekly have been doing pretty well for me, right? They usually break even, or I may be slightly down on the price or maybe slightly up, but it's still paying me a solid dividend. So, I like those positions. The RDTE, uh, the QDTE, and those round hill positions have done well for me. And those pay every week. So, I mix those in. I mix some of the weeklies in with the monthlies, some of the monthlies in with the quarterlies, and it starts to add up. And then, you use those funds to maybe build up some other of your solid portfolio positions, and maybe use a small portion to put back into those high risk dividends. So it's just it's a method for the madness, but it's all been paying off so far. So you want to make sure you're not losing a bunch of, your portfolio is not going down, but you still want to build your income and still feed some of those other solid, S&P positions or NASDAQ positions, or, those techs or something like that. So all those get fed too off of, dividend income. So it's just a method to the madness. So, but yeah, anything else, man? This is episode 2 of Stock Talk, late night. I'm just trying to come every Tuesday and Thursday. We just come in, we just chop it up, and whatever's on your mind, that's what we're gonna talk about, and go from there. So, but I think I'm gonna wrap it up for tonight. We've been on almost an hour. I appreciate you guys tuning in and sitting with me and bearing with me for an hour or so. But hopefully we can start making this like a regular occurrence. And just, Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, just chop it up. May pop in on the weekend or something like that. Because, I'm always open to new ideas, and and some of you guys are maybe more experienced in the stock market than me. So I like to hear what, everyone else's opinions are. So I think it makes for good conversation, and it's all about building a strong portfolio for yourself or for your family. So that's the purpose of having this late night conversations. After everybody else has gone to bed and you done watched all your other videos for the day, and this come chill on late night episodes on Stock Talk. So yeah, but yeah, man, that's about it, man. Remember to like, share, subscribe. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. Always invest in yourself, and we'll see what the future may hold. But until next time, I will talk to you guys later. I appreciate you checking in, and we'll be back on Thursday. But I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks.